In this video, I'll be showing you the fastest way to get out of Diamond and all the way up into Elite. If you're like me, dying off spawn every game in Diamond lobbies, then this video is for you. It got to the point where I was dying so much, I had to ask ChatGPT how to rank up out of Diamond fast. And yeah, it didn't work. So since that failed me miserably, I decided to try find the best steps on ranking up to Elite for Chapter 5 Season 2 myself. Also, if you could drop a like and subscribe, I'm trying to get 5k by the end of April and all the help would be greatly appreciated. Step 1. Whether to play solos, duos, trios, or squads. Now step 1 of ranked is the most crucial step and it's about what game mode of ranked you're playing. Now this can dramatically decide how well you do in ranked. Solos is without a doubt the easiest way to ranking up fast, only if you're good like me. Second place! In solos, you're only ever having to deal with 1v1s or 1v1v1s at most. This is good because you won't have to be dealing with as many people. Duos is also great if you have really good team chemistry with the person you're playing with. If you do, then I would say this is the best game mode for ranked to play, but there are still a few downsides. There's a chance that your fights will turn into a 1v2, the enemy targeting you because you're weaker, or you're far away from your duo. Also, if your duo is knocked and you're trying to reboot them and you run into a team of 2, your chances of death are pretty high, but there are good things to playing duos as well. Everything I just said can be turned around and used on an enemy team as well. Also, working with a duo can help your gameplay since you have 2 brains being used instead of 1. Just make sure if you're playing in duos, trios, or squads that you're helping your teammates as much as possible. Helping your teammates can be very good for ranking up as it means all of your teammates will have good enough loot and be well prepared for fights. Also, something that applies for all game modes in ranked is making sure that you have a lot of mats available. I'm sure you notice after you get into a massive fight that most of your mats are gone, and if you don't have enough mats mid-fight, you can run out. So make sure you have around 500 for wood and stone, and then you can have around half metal. But obviously, if you can get max materials, then go for that. Step 2. Drop spots. Drop spots are really important for ranking up. If you pick a heavily populated spot, your chances of dying off spawn become really high. But if you choose a spot at the end of the map, you have a small chance of dying off spawn, which could lead to you ranking up more. Something to note when landing is that you're almost always going to have people landing with you, even if you're landing at the most isolated place. So make sure you're grabbing a gun as quick as possible and healing as much as you can before fighting. Something you should be doing every time you're looting and trying to stay alive endgame is rotating dead side of the zone. By heading dead side of zone, it's most likely that there won't be as many people since most of the people who rotated in from that side would have just moved into the middle of the zone. This season is really hard to rank up from camping, so make sure you're at least trying to get a few kills. It really depends on the types of kills you get that determines how much percentage you gain. The best time to kill people is when you're in the top 25 or less. That's when the big percentage for kills starts to come in. But honestly, drop spots are seriously important, so make sure you're landing somewhere not too isolated but not too populated. If you're an aggressive player, landing places like Reforged or Reckless are really good options. But if you're not, landing places on the outskirts of the map might be your best option. If you want a good drop spot, I recommend you go watch my video on my channel titled The Best Drop Spot for Chapter 5 Season 2. Step 3. Confidence. Confidence can play a key part in whether you rank up fast or not. Something I made a mistake of was not being confident in my plays when I first got into Diamonds. I would get scared when someone tried to push me and run away. Although that's not terrible, it's not good. By doing this, it means the other person probably thinks you're bad or low on HP and will target you for a long time, usually following you until you die. The best thing you can do is have confidence in your plays. By this I mean you should be the one initiating your fight. If you see someone and you have good enough loot, then you should fight them. Because if it's solos, it's usually a 50-50 since you're almost always versing someone your skill level. If it's duos or anything else, still take the fight, but ask if your teammate is good to take the fight with you. Also, if someone starts to rush you first, you have to commit to rushing them back. You can't just run because it makes them think you're low on HP and you'll probably just get chased down anyways. If you commit to the fight, best case scenario is you win. Even if you don't and you hit them a lot of damage, it can be best to run if you hit them. If you hit them for high damage and they haven't hit you, then they will focus more on healing than on you. So that's your time to run if you really don't want to fight. Even if you die from the fight, you can then go back and replays and figure out what you did wrong and then go back and creative and practice that. If you notice you died from getting too many shots on you, then practice on covering yourself when building. If you notice you died because you jumped down into a box and you couldn't piece them up in time, then practice on piece control. Even if you died to a third party, practice on being able to cover yourself and dealing with a situation of a 1v1v1. Anyways, those are all the tips for the video. If you could drop a like and subscribe, I'm trying to get 5k by the end of April and all the help would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, bye.